have to call the vet for this one. Well, she's back in the chute now. Welcome back to Nathan. So a little recap on this girl. We theorized that she got her foot caught somewhere. There was some significant areas peeling away up in that heel ball area. So we carefully trimmed that away and were able to get all of the loose horn removed from that area. Cleaned it out really well. Wrapped it with salicylic acid as we normally would. And then we came back a couple of weeks later to see how she was doing. At that 2-week time frame, she had made significant progress, but we weren't there all the way. And to be honest, that was fully expected. This was a pretty significant sized area. So once again, we cleaned that area really well, wrapped it once again with salicylic acid, and we let her go. Now in the meantime, it's been about 2.5 months since we last saw her. The reason we didn't check up on her more recently is because she was transitioning from the heifer barn to the milking facility. She was getting ready to have a calf. During that period of time, we don't like to mess with cows just because there's enough changes going on with their location, in this case, their diet, and of course getting their bodies ready to have a calf. So we don't want to add any more to that with hoof trimming, moving around for hoof trimming if we don't have to. In this case, she was recovering quite well, so we let her be. Now obviously there was a big chunk of blocks still remaining on that. I thought that block had fallen off. The guys at the farm said she was walking really well, so we really weren't too concerned about it. So once she calved now's a good time to check back on that, see how it's healed up, and give her a good trim to get this claw back into right shape. You can see it was a little long, and that's because having no weight on that claw allowed it to grow. There's no wear there. So now as we trim this down, we're able to identify the areas that might need trimming and see how our first trimmings, how those worked out. There's a couple interesting things to note here as I'm doing the knife work, and that is that darkest spot in the heel there, that was the original lesion way up high. And it's kind of cool how you can see over time, over these last couple months, how that hoof horn has grown and that mark is actually down the foot more. You see that little red spot there? That was deposited at that time when that was open as well. If you look, you'll get a better close-up of this later on, but that red mark in the sole, like I said, that's historical, right? That had happened back then. When you get that up close, you'll be able to see that new horn behind that that's coming in that's nice and clean. Just some interesting things to note. It's kind of nerdy, but when you can really see the progression of these things as they heal and how they move down those claws over the course of time, it's just kind of interesting. Maybe not so much for you. Here you can get a good view of that entire heel ball, how that whole area has filled in. There's that red mark I was talking about. You look behind that layer, you can see all the good healthy horn behind there. Exactly what you want. Once again, this area healed up quite nicely. I was unsure, obviously, after that first trim what was going to happen, but trimmed up nice, balanced up nice, and she's done. Ready to go. Once again, guys, thanks for watching. We will see you.